it's Diane with Diane's Blue Hearts and Butterflies.com, and I am back with some cards that I've made for an upcoming class, and I wanted to share with you how I did these. I was able to find this card on Pinterest, and a lady named Claire Daly from Australia was the inspiration. I didn't have any measurements, so I kind of used my own. But I felt that it was a really neat way to show how to extend the dies to be able to get different shapes out of them. So let's get started. I used the Butterfly Wishes, which is a distinctive stamp that Stampin' Up! Sells. These rubber stamps actually were made from photographs of images, and it gives a very photographic kind of look. I also used the stitched nested labels. I used the third and fourth from the largest for this project. And the way that I wanted to kind of show what all I used to do this. So we started with our crumb cake base at 4 1/4 by 11, and then I scored it 5 1/2, folded that in half. The inside has a piece that is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. This piece of Blackberry Bliss I cut from a scrap piece that I had, but I wanted to extend it. Normally this die cuts this image or this shape a little bit shorter, but I wanted to go longer, so I cut a piece that was about 4 3/4 inches by 2 1/2 to be able to do this, and I wanted to show you guys how to extend that so that it comes out longer than the normal size. So let me, and then I cut the fourth largest one with the out of Whisper White for the front, and then I stamped some of the butterflies on the scrap piece of white. So this is the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I have been using it quite a lot. Sorry for moving that. But when I did the first cut, what I did was I lined up the top cutting plate where it didn't cover the end of it, and I just cut a portion of it. Now that I have one side cut, I can move that down, and then with the stitched labels, it's a lot easier because you can kind of feel where those stitched parts of the die kind of fit together. But then you can bring it out here, and then you just do the opposite where you only cut the portion that you haven't cut yet and run that through the machine. Sorry for the movement. My table's not very steady. Oops, sorry. Get that out of the way. And then when you pull that out, it gives you a longer piece so that you can have a long piece to go back behind this one to give it a little bit more effect. So now we need to get to, before I move on, I was mentioning the stitched dies, and it's kind of like these, as long as they have a straight edge or not really kind of a hump in the middle, but anything that has kind of a straight in the middle, you can extend those and make them longer. The same with these kind of dies, because they're straight in the middle. You could extend those and make them make a lot larger or longer label out of those. So First, I'm going to start by stamping on the front of the card, and I'm going to just use regular Post-its to kind of cover the back side of the card so that I don't have to keep it folded to stamp. And I'm just using the kind of branch looking piece out of this set. And then I'm just using crumb cake ink on the crumb cake just to give it a little bit of a different look to the piece. You don't have to worry a whole lot about the part in the middle because it's going to be covered by the labels. It's just kind of how you want it on here. I think I'm going to come in. Since this middle is getting covered up, I think I'm going to kind of put that other one there. So let me move that out of the way. And I'm just going to stamp some of that ink off because I'm going to reuse that. To stamp on this piece, but this time I'm going to use the Stampin' Write markers. These are best to use when you're coloring on the stamps to be able to then stamp the image onto cardstock or whatever paper that you're planning on stamping that onto. So I'm just trying to create the branch, and then I got Blackberry Bliss, Crumb Cake, and then Garden Green are the colors that I was using. And so for this, I'm going to color the blackberry for kind of like the flower, and I'm just coloring it where that image is. Then this one. And then I'll do the Garden Green for kind of the leaves. I had the host for the party this time that wanted some butterfly cards, and I do love butterflies, so it wasn't really hard for me to come up with some ideas and stamp sets that I already had to use for this. And so when you're stamping onto the rubber, then you take this and you will huff on this and then put this onto the cardstock so that it can re-wet this is when you're huffing on it. And place that where you want it. And looks like I could have used a little bit more, but it still looks pretty good. My Blackberry Bliss is a little bit dry apparently, so let me just the words that I'm going to use on this is the birthday wishes that is out of the stamp set. And I'm just going to stamp that on there. And then for the piece that goes inside, I am going to stamp the flowers in the Blackberry Bliss and the leaves in the Garden Green. And these are from the same stamp set. And I just thought it would be kind of pretty to have these going up the side, kind of turn them a little bit. And you can see they kind of give a really pretty dimensional kind of stamp. And you could stamp a message on the inside if you'd like as well. But I think I'm just going to leave this one so that I can write something in it or stamp something later. Move all these out of the way. And then we can put everything together. So I'm going to glue this on the inside. This is the new Stampin' Seal, and I'm just trying to start getting used to the new runner, adhesive runner. And I was told that if you hold it kind of parallel with the paper, and it's not really a pull or anything, it's just you roll and then you stop and you pick it up, and then it would keep going. I ran out a little bit there. Let me grab another one real quick. So I'm going to glue that one on the inside. This one's more of a quick and simple type card. And then this one I'm just going to glue straight down to the front of the card, kind of centering it. And then this one I'm going to add dimensionals and pop it up. Put this one centered. And then I did these butterflies, cut some out. I did want to kind of show you, it's just fussy cutting. They don't have any dies or punches to cut these out, but it doesn't take a whole lot. And it's basically holding your scissors still while you're moving the paper with the opposite hand so that you can kind of maneuver and how you want to cut that out. And it just kind of goes fairly quickly. And then I kind of took and I bent them a little bit at the body, and then just using my finger and thumb, I kind of added a little bit of a curl to it on the ones that are going to go on the front. And I put one big one and then one of these little ones, and it's what I used on the front. And I attached these with the glue dots. just kind of where I wanted them on the front of the card. And then the other one, I just attached to the inside with a couple of glue dots. I just put those on the wings and just kind of put that off in the corner. And then I used the Gilded Gems to add a little bit of bling to the butterflies, because of course butterflies need to have something shiny. So I used one of the little ones in the middle of the body for that, and then I used one of the little ones for the middle of the body on that one. And then I just put one on each side of the word wishes to give it just a little bit of bling. And that was the simple, quick, and easy kind of card. And thank you, Claire Daly, for inspiring this one. I appreciate it. Hope you will check out my blog, and if you click subscribe, you'll be notified every time that I upload a video on YouTube to my YouTube videos. But I do try to upload my class ideas onto my blog so that I could share those with everyone. I hope you have a great day. Thank you.